I am Bishop Greg Kelly, the Bishop Designate of the Diocese of Tyler. I guess I'm still auxiliary bishop in Dallas, but I don't know. Yeah, I have to ask the canon lawyer.
So you're the 5th bishop here in the Diocese of Tyler. You told us a little bit how you're feeling today. What are your thoughts today, this morning?
A sense of gratitude just actually that so many people came, on a day so close to Christmas. Just gratitude to Father John Gomez, the Vicar General, Bishop Joe Vasquez, who has done so much the last year to just keep things going. I think I'm so grateful to them, grateful to the Holy Father for this trust. And
What are your hopes or plans for the Diocese of Dallas, given the situation the diocese has been in for the past year and change months?
For the Diocese of Tyler?
Yes. What are your hopes for the Diocese of Tyler, given what the situation the diocese has been in the last year?
I think the first thing, I just need to get to know people, to get to know the reality of the diocese. So much of the ministry of the bishop is about relationships. Relationships to the priests, to the deacons, to the seminarians, religious, faithful, whatever that is. And so it takes time to build relationships, for me to come to know them, for them to come to know me. And so I need to think through some strategy or some process of, what's the best way to come to know the overall reality of the diocese. It's over 2.5 times the area of the Diocese of Dallas. It's very much spread out. And so to figure out what's the best way it's going to be to get to know everybody. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so is it common for a vacancy to take over a year to fill?
I don't know. I haven't paid that much attention to it, but I don't think it's unusual. Yeah. I think that, I don't understand all the inner workings of the process, but I don't think that that's unusual. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so, what is your Christmas message to East Texas?
Basically just to introduce myself and to say that I'm hoping to get to know them as soon as possible and begin to work with them in February. I wrote a letter to be read at all the Masses this weekend in both English and Spanish. Mm-hmm.
For those who don't know much about the Catholic Church, what is your role in the Catholic Church?
It's really to be the chief shepherd of this geographic area, which is 33 counties in the northeast corner of Texas, to kind of be the overall, to teach the gospel, to celebrate the sacraments, to oversee the governance of the diocese. Those are basically the 3 basic things, and to assure that parishes have the priests, the resources that they need. Everything happens at the parish. That's where people encounter the sacraments, where they come to pray, where they come to get an education, where they get married and buried. And so, really try to do as much as possible to support the parishes and the priests who are the pastors of the parishes. Mm-hmm.
Yes, and I know you kind of talked about it in there, but what was that phone call like for you?
It's kind of knowing what it is. It comes out of the blue. You don't have any warning for it. And so when I saw the name, I thought I need to be someplace where I can, by myself, so I can, whatever the message, I can receive it, I can react to it, and then before there's any kind of public acknowledgement of it. So, it's kind of both an ending and a beginning. It really is, I think, okay, my time here in Dallas is coming to an end, and there's something new beginning that I don't understand very well, and I just have to be patient with that. Mm-hmm.
And then you're about to give your first Mass here in a couple minutes as the bishop here in Tyler. How are you feeling with that?
What I'm noting is that the gospel for today is the gospel of the Annunciation, where Mary gets this message out of the blue, that she's to be the mother of the Lord. And I've often wondered how, the gospel says that it all happens in 12 verses, 14 verses, but how long does it take for that to happen? Where she hears it and she says she was deeply disturbed by it, she questioned it, and then at the end said yes. And as she went through that, the revelation that was given by the angel was deepened. And I think then she still had to just walk, because she's pregnant, but it's going to be 9 months before the baby's born, so there's this kind of interim period. And so it feels like kind of entering into an interim period. Not 9 months, but it could be 9 months. Yeah.
And so what is your hope for the future of the Diocese of Tyler?
My hope really is, mean, Christ is our hope, and His love is the animating reality of our lives, and that's since it has a divine source, and He's both the divine and human Son of God, that it overcomes every barrier, every obstacle, and always brings new life where there's not life. One of the other lines in that same part of the Joy of the Gospel that I quoted from, Pope Francis talks about the resurrection being woven into human history. And so that's also a source of hope, that there's a reality here, a new life that came out of death, that's woven into our history as Catholics, but in some way into the history of every person, because we have a common destiny. We're all one human family. Mm-hmm.
Yes, and so this has kind of been a big question all over and everything, and people aren't real sure, but do you think religion has entered politics and politics entered religion?
I mean, there's always an interplay between the two realities, because both have to do with how you exercise power. There's always going to be some kind of a back and forth and an interplay between the two. I think, the Church always has to stay out of partisan politics, endorsing candidates or doing anything like that, but upholding, as I said in the statement, the dignity of the human person, and what are policies and practices that they either harm that or uphold that, and trying to support the ones that uphold it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And last question for me. The diocese is made up of a large Hispanic population. Do you have a particular message for them?
Quiero conocerlos y aprender sus experiencias, sus penas, sus gracias, para caminar con ustedes. Sí. Mm-hmm.
Anything else you'd like to add today about all this?
No, just thank you to the three of you for taking your time to do this. I'm very grateful for that. I'm grateful for the chance to meet the three of you as well. I hope we meet again. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.